Imagine chasing a lifestyle so badly that you're willing to kill your own family just to get that. And that's what exactly happened in this case. Because this is the story of a rapper who wanted fame and money in an image that he couldn't afford because he was broke as fuck in Chicago. So instead of building it the right way, he made a decision that would cost him everything. His name was Young QC, but his real name was Qawmane Wilson. I think I said that right. Qawmane Wilson. He was an upcoming rapper from Chicago who tried to build a name for himself. And just like a lot of artists, he wanted to have the image of looking successful. You know, jewelry, clothes, designer shit, cars. The kind of image that makes people believe that you already made it, even though you didn't. But behind the scenes, that lifestyle was a fucking phony. He didn't have any money to sustain it, and the pressure to look successful started pushing him in a very dangerous direction. By all accounts, Yolanda Holmes, his mother, was a hardworking nurse, and by all accounts, she was doing what any parent would do and should do, providing and working and supporting her family. But she also had something else in mind. A life insurance policy that was worth around $100,000. And for most people, that's just security for their loved ones. But for young QC, it became a dollar sign. Instead of working harder to support himself and build his career the right way, he made a choice that was hard as hell for most people, even just the most evil people in the world to comprehend. This dude decided to kill his own mother. And this dude was such a fucking coward that he hired somebody else to carry it out. Think about this for a second. This wasn't a moment of anger, a mistake, an argument, or anything like that. This was planned. Their relationship had no sort of abuse or anything like that to where this would seem plausible. There was one night where he made that plan a reality. Yolanda Holmes was shot inside of her own home. Her own home, a place that's supposed to be safe, a place where you shouldn't have to worry about anything like that, especially with your own son. And just like that, everything changed. So you must be asking, what happened after the murder? This dude happened to raise suspicion. Because instead of grief or sadness or any sort of remorse or anything like that, this dude was just out here spending money. And this dude was looking happy as hell. This dude was looking happy as hell while his mom was dying, while his mom died after getting her killed. And he started spending her money, started flexing the money that he killed his own mom to get. Think about that for a second. And this dude was so remorseless that people actually began to notice that something wasn't right. There was no real emotion, no genuine reaction. Like, his feelings didn't match the situation. That's when police started looking a little deeper. And as they dug into the case, everything began to fall apart. The person he hired, that hitman dude who killed his mom, ended up telling on the authorities, bro. And once that happened, this dude was pretty much cooked from there on. Every detail, every decision, everything he tried to hide, all of it was exposed. Once he hit court, he couldn't hide what he did. Young QC was found guilty of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to decades in prison, pretty much spending most of his life behind bars, if not all of it. All that for $100,000, bro. He didn't even do it for $1 million, which would have been also bad, but it just makes it somehow worse that he did it for $100,000, bro. You could have made that shit right about now. But now you're in prison rotting and stinking because you killed your mom. So there have been allegations of him getting sexually assaulted in a shower. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of wish it was true. I wish it was true. Like, I wouldn't feel bad for him. But these are just allegations, though. These aren't actual facts. These are just kind of things that were spread around. But yeah, this is one of the rumors. I really hope that's true. He deserves every last bit of that, if I'm being honest. This story is more than just about crime. It's about something a little deeper. The pressure to look successful, to impress people that don't give a fuck about you, to earn a fake lifestyle, to fake a lifestyle that you haven't even earned yet. When all of that just becomes your focus, you can lose everything that actually matters, bro. And in this case, a mother was taken, a family was destroyed, and another life was thrown away. All for a bullshit image that wasn't even real. And at the end of the day, no amount of money, no amount of clout, nothing like that is worth your fucking mother, bro. Or your soul, or your life, and your freedom, bro. This dude is a fucking idiot.
His deep sadness over the killing of Lled Pendleton was evident as hundreds gathered outside the Greater Harvest Baptist Church. WGN's Randy Bellosomo has that story.
The crowd began to form hours before services were scheduled to start. A solemn air settled upon South State as the casket of 15-year-old Lled Pendleton arrived. Hers wasn't a life that was to turn out this way. She was a cut above the street violence that has plagued our city. Qawmane Wilson lost his mother to gun violence on November 14th.
My mother, she was a neighborhood woman. A guy entered her home, and murdered her, just to steal.
Many parents here say this time it feels like it was one of their own.